Broadcasting live from the thriving heath on the plain of wherever Jumpstart is, this is Tap Tap Concede. Welcome everybody to Tap Tap Concede. My name is Graham. Joining me is Cameron.
Huh?
And Kathleen.
Well, I think canonically the Jumpstart cards are on many planes.
Yeah, exactly. So it's kind of hard to pin down where these heaths could be anywhere.
I had my actually deflected. Oh my God.
We've got heaps of heaths. No, I was just agreeing with you. The Jumpstart.
Yes, deflected.
Oh, I see.
That's the point of the well, actually.
Oh, right. Yes. No, you're right. You got me. Or wait, hang on.
No, you got me.
Who's on top of this? I don't know anymore. It's Tap Tap Concede. We're going to be talking about Jumpstart 2022. But first of all, of course, a reminder that the show is brought to you by Card Kingdom. Please check out cardkingdom.com/LRR. Buy yourself some Jumpstart. Why don't you? It's fun. It's super fun. I love Jumpstart. I'm glad that it's back in full power. And of course, if you go to the /loading ready run, that lets them know that we sent you, and we do that because we think they're great. And you can say, loading ready run sent me, button please, and they'll give you a little 1-inch button, which currently says, if I live, I have lethal. And of course, this show and everything we do is brought to you by you and your kind support of our Patreon at patreon.com/loadingreadyrun. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
You did this.
It really means a lot.
It is legitimately important.
So Jumpstart, for those who were not aware, was a product that they did. It was 2020, I think it came out. Didn't it come out like just as lockdown was happening? I think,
Yeah,
if I recall
I
correctly.
really want to say that Jumpstart was one of the sets that got goozled hard in early pandemic,
Yeah.
but was very popular on Arena. I played a lot of it on Arena.
I played a lot of it on Arena as well.
It was very fun.
I've played a lot less of it on Arena. So they sort of had the jump in thing on Arena that's been sticking around, but it's also got a bunch of alchemy cards in it as well now, which I don't love.
If you're not familiar with Jumpstart, let's describe what the product
Sorry,
is.
that's what I was going to do. Pardon me. I opened with, if you're not familiar with Jumpstart, and then I just got totally digression. So it is a booster product designed to just open and play. And the boosters have like a themed pack. And the idea is that you take 2 of these packs and shuffle them together. Each of the packs is monocolored, I think, and you shuffle them together, and then you end up with a multicolored deck, or I guess if you end up with 2 packs of the same color, maybe it's a monocolored deck, and then you play against someone who's done the same. And when it was announced, people were like, why is this a thing? And then people played with it, at least I played with it, and I was like, oh, this is super fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it turns out it's actually just lots of fun. And so the packs are things like, these are all packs that are in Jumpstart 2022. There's things that are sort of tribal themes, like vehicles or knights, or there's things that are mechanically themed, like Blink, or there's things that are just sort of like thematically themed, like there's one called Gross. So, it's they're primarily reprints, but there are a bunch of new cards that were made specifically for the first Jumpstart, and there are a bunch of new cards that are made for Jumpstart 2022. And so, yeah, it's just a fun thing.
I mean, I think you can broadly think of it as designed pack wars.
Yeah, exactly, yeah, yeah. And recently, for Dominaria United and the Brothers War, they have also done set-specific themed Jumpstart product, where it's like Dominaria United Jumpstart, and I haven't actually encountered any of those because they're not part of like all the stuff we do for the pre-release. So I haven't actually gotten a chance to get hands-on with any of those products. But this is the big one. This is the sequel. This is Jumpstart 2022, and it's coming out at time of you listening to this coming Friday. It's coming out this week.
Friday, the 2nd of December?
3rd? 2nd?
Second, with a planned stream on Friday Night Paper Fight.
Oh, nice. Thank you, James. Yes, we're going to stream it on Friday Night Paper Fight on release day. And I had the pleasure of being asked to join the creative text team for this set. It was a very small, certainly compared to Infinity. I don't actually know much about your work on Brothers War. From
the Brothers War team was swole.
Yeah,
with
this
the
was
most powerful writers.
This was
and me.
Myself and a guy named Chris. Yeah, so it was a small team.
And your hardworking editor.
Well, that's the thing, is that it was the creative text writers on the team was myself and a gentleman named Chris, who I have not met in person, and our editor Fox, and a lot of input from Leah, who was the actually, I'm not entirely sure what the correct title of her role was, but she was in the world building for this set and was in charge of things like writing the art descriptions to go to the artists and things like that. So she had a lot of input as well. And I'm going to talk about my favorite story from that in a second. But yeah, so we now have the full breakdown of all the decks and all the new cards, and it looks pretty sweet. You have something that you're particularly keen to talk about?
Yeah, well, I mean, like, I had issues with some of the the names. For example, Deadly Plot. Graham.
I don't actually know if that one was me, but you can definitely blame the flavor text for this one on me. Which is, so Deadly Plot is 3 and a black for an instant. Choose one. Destroy target creature or planeswalker, or return target zombie creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. That card seems sweet mechanically. It feels like I'm reading them for the first time because it's been so long. And the flavor text, open grave available, only one previous tenant.
See, Deadly Plot is like, see, I know that you have a complaint. I have a compliment.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, complaint, compliment.
Yeah.
Like,
They come from the same spot in the heart where it's like,
Yeah.
I'm groaning but impressed.
yes, yeah, exactly. This one hurt me.
Perfection.
Yes. So mission
Good.
accomplished.
Excellent.
Similarly, I just wanted to say, finally, Soul Read.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Finally, there's a card called Soul Read. Which again, I think I didn't name but did do the flavor text for. So 3 and a blue. I wonder if this is a cycle, actually, now that I think about it.
Oh, yeah.
3 and a blue, instant, choose one. Counter target spell unless its controller pays 4, or draw 2 cards. It's easy to be 2 steps ahead when you can see their every thought.
Classic.
So yeah, finally. So yeah, because there were some people. There was some feedback from the internet on some of the names and flavor text in this, and with Jumpstart it's not just for new players, because obviously we're enfranchised players and we enjoy it, but it is sort of, I think, more angling for new players, and the tone is allowed to be a lot more fun. Where it's allowed to be a lot more lighthearted for Jumpstart, and so I think there was like, whoa, why is this so goofy? And it's like, well, because it's Jumpstart, because it can be. It's fun. It's light.
I mean, there's this fundamentally different play experience between, sleeving up like a competitive standard deck and I got some time to kill. Let's play some Jumpstart. Brrr. All right, let's go, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
it's allowed to be a bit silly. Why is Guardians of the Galaxy not super serious? Like,
Yeah.
Civil War. Like,
Yeah. And I should say, so each of the packets, they're called, has they have a number of commons and uncommons, and then they have a rare or mythic, and then additionally they have a reprint with new art in an anime style. Your mileage may vary. Honestly, they're not super my jam necessarily, but they're all reprints, so you're not forced to use them. So yeah, there's definitely some funnier choices on there, but yeah, some of the anime cards are pretty silly.
yeah, like there's the, what is it? The Spectral Sailor,
Yes.
which is, from Ixalan, I think. It
Yeah.
was kind of like an Azure Mage,
Yeah.
spend some mana, draw a card. It's repeatable. It doesn't tap. But she's a Sailor Scout.
Basically, yeah. Spirit pirate, 1/1 for a single blue, flash flying, 3 and a blue, draw a card. I didn't think they'd pick this flavor text when I suggested permission to haunt a board, Captain. I put it in there sometimes when you're doing a job like that, or just sort of when we're writing our own stuff, sometimes there's a joke where it's like, this joke is in there just for me.
Yeah.
And so I submitted that and was like, haha, I have amused myself for a few minutes there, and then they picked it, and I was like, awesome. But I guess that's sort of more the tone that they're going for with the anime reprints.
What, you think the light-hearted, like cute girl anime reprints are not are just a little like light and silly and kind of put a smile on your face when you read them? What a shock.
Well, they did also, so the tragic slip one, which the official Wizards account tweeted about her being isekai'd by a truck. Tweaked slightly from my original submission on the flavor text, but I certainly did the broad stroke of it was that the last word that went through her head was "whoops," which I like. Actually, made me think of you, Cameron. Your favorite guy from Aliens.
Alien 3.
Alien 3, right?
Yeah. There's a guy in Alien 3 who moments before being exploded, but not interrupted by being exploded, says, "Buh."
Yeah, that's a full thought.
That is the entire thought.
And this is the first time that the word "whoops" has appeared on a magic card. Actually, if thinking specifically of Cameron, if we could see, I don't remember the name of it now. It's the assembly worker. Because I submitted this flavor text. It's a reference to the paperclip problem. And it was selected, and it's heck, what is it? This iPad is very old and loading incredibly slowly. I should just use my phone.
The paperclip problem is a thought exercise about AI, where about the dangers of ungoverned AI. Where, say you were to build a machine that was to make paperclips, and you gave it the instruction to optimize the number of paperclips it could make. And for a long time, nothing happens. Then it makes something you don't recognize. Step 3, the universe is paperclips.
Yeah. Dutiful Replicator is the card. It's 3 mana for a 3/2 assembly worker. When Dutiful Replicator enters the battlefield, you may pay 1. When you do, create a token that's a copy of target token you control, not named Dutiful Replicator. With the flavor text, be careful, leave it running for too long, and it'll turn the whole building into angels. Ascribed to Thanos.
Amazing.
Because it's just someone told it to
make angels.
Make angel statues, and it's going to make angel statues unless you tell it otherwise. So, which I think brings the total assembly workers up to like 12?
Yeah.
They've been building that out more recently.
I was curious if you could run assembly worker tribal yet.
Getting there. I mean, there's 4 new ones in Brothers War.
5, I thought. Or no, wait. No, it's just been
an old one, right?
Yeah, I was just thrown by because the tutor is
yeah, because I tweeted that I got them all into play.
Right, yeah. The prototype one is particularly exciting.
Yeah, the autonomous assembler, is that really what it's called?
Something
4/5 for 5 vigilance and 1 in tap, and you can put a +1/+1 counter on target assembly worker you control. And which is so great for assembly worker tribal, and you can prototype it for 1 and a white as a 2/2. Yeah. Oh yeah, autonomous assembler. Yeah.
Nicely done, Graham.
Thank you. So yeah, there's that one, and then there's the new Tron, the Union. I've heard people call it
Expedia.
Yeah, of the mine worker, the tower worker, and the
power plant.
Power plant worker, right?
Yes.
That's the one. Yeah. Anyway, what else did you have on your list of fun
I was
cards?
just really excited to see Ristic Study getting a reprint.
This is also, I had no part in this one in terms of obviously because like the art direction happens well beyond I'm involved, and I didn't do this flavor text, but I just love this that it's Simone and Rutha working on a group project.
I like the idea that at Strixhaven, you have the 5 colleges, but they're not siloed. Yeah. There's interdisciplinary studies. People talk to one another.
I'd suggested the flavor text of the in a multiverse first, a group project where everyone contributed equally.
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Too real, man. You're supposed to keep the real world out of Magic cards.
Yeah.
The best group projects are where everyone thinks they're the one who was in charge or was the only one who did any work.
Actually, speaking of Strixhaven, I had fun with this. If you look at Biblioplex Kraken, which sadly had too much rules text for any flavor text. But we named this. I don't recall who actually came up with the name Biblioplex Kraken. It might have been me. It easily could not have been. A lot of stuff got changed over the course of stuff, and it all blurs together. But it's 4 and a blue for a 4/5 Kraken. When it enters the battlefield, scry 3. Whenever Biblioplex Kraken attacks, you may return another target creature you control to its owner's hand. If you do, Biblioplex Kraken can't be blocked this turn. So, very cool. And then there is another card, which I need to find now, which I should have prefaced. I can't remember if it's one of the reprints. Was it also blue? Oh, shoot. But we got to do a little bit of world building. I think I actually said when I submitted the flavor text, I think I just said in all caps, "We're world building, folks."
Yeah.
Which is the, oh gosh, I've lost it.
Oh.
Sorry, I should have figured this all out ahead of time. But it references the Kraken. This is great television.
Hey, while Graham's looking through
Please.
his notes,
Mm-hmm.
Cameron, do you have another card you want to talk
Oh,
about?
yeah, I would love to. One card that I enjoyed the flavor text on quite a lot was Peace Walker Colossus, which is a reprint from Aether Revolt.
Yeah.
But I thought that the flavor text provided an interesting contrast with the one from Aether Revolt. So Peace Walker Colossus is a 3 mana vehicle, or 3 generic mana vehicle. It's a 6/6 with 1 and a white. Another target vehicle you control becomes an artifact creature until end of turn, crew 4. The flavor text reads, "One way to keep the peace is to make war look like a really bad idea."
I mean, I would say that's possibly the best way to keep the peace.
Yeah, I mean, like, there are many ways of doing that too, right? Like the EU arguably has kept the peace by, just making it prosperous not to be at war.
Yes,
On the other end of the spectrum, you have the Tarkin Doctrine,
yes.
right? It's like, we'll just park a Star Destroyer over you. But in Aether Revolt, the flavor text was definitely more on the Tarkin Doctrine side of things. I forget exactly how it was phrased.
It was a quote attributed to Sahili.
Yeah.
Which is, it was, or there it is.
Yeah.
Peace, its sole purpose is fear.
Yeah. The planetary governors will be kept in, local systems will be kept in line through fear.
Yeah. So I actually did I don't know if you knew this, I did the flavor text on the new Peace Walker Colossus, which I liked for a couple reasons. One was because of that, because it is sort of like this Peace Walker Colossus looks like, look at that thing. This is like some like divine mecha. Like this is this is a weapon of war, right? This is a deterrent. This is not it's like, oh, all right, I'm not going to attack you. Peace it is then, right?
Yep.
And also it's sort of a bit of an homage to my, as I've said before, my favorite flavor text on Light Minefield, which is if you want to kill a lot of goblins in a hurry, make your defenses look like fun. So not that this is the same sort of thing, but it's it's certainly not thematically linked. But in my head, I was just sort of like, oh, that kind of makes me think of that. But so yeah, I had a lot of fun with this one. But that mech looks amazing.
I can't even tell where the head is.
I think it's at the base of
The
the
horn?
spike. Yeah, I think it's got a big horn.
Yeah, this is kind of like Gundam Unicorn, I
Oh.
feel.
And like with like 2 twin ponytails,
Yeah.
pigtails hanging off the top.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know if it's at that point or just back from that at the top of the shoulders, and then all of that is headdress. There's a lot going on.
Yeah.
Graham, was the card that you were looking for Tragic Lesson?
Tragic Lesson. Thank you. So, because Tragic Lesson's a reprint, so that's probably why I was having trouble finding it. 2 and a blue, instant, draw 2 cards, discard a card unless you return a land you control to its owner's hand. With the flavor text, eventually the school would resort to hiring a Kraken to guard the more dangerous tomes in the Biblioplex. So, yeah, I just like when you can tell a little story just in the flavor text. When it's like you've never seen that Strixhaven has a Kraken in the Biblioplex before, but there's a card called Biblioplex Kraken, and then it's like, oh, that's why they did that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I mean, this is an interesting take on Burbgurgs.
yeah. Yep.
But yeah, I also kind of like the flavor on the Kraken being like, it can go anywhere it wants, but it's definitely going to like throw somebody else to the to the librarians.
Yep.
Like, you have to go. Wait, where'd the Kraken go? It was also making noise. Blood artist.
Ooh,
Hey,
yes.
Oh,
blood
yeah.
artist.
This blood artist. This looks terrific.
Love this card. Always happy to see this card. This card sends a message. You know what's going to happen to you when this card shows up. Just great artwork.
Yeah. I love the artwork. It's super cool.
I love how dramatic he is.
Yeah. On Twitter, didn't
Yeah.
Leah say that she had you in mind?
Yeah, as a perfectionist artist.
Yeah. Which is great because I didn't know that. I did the flavor text on this one.
Nice.
Yeah,
nice.
which was just I was just like, this is a tortured artist. This is someone who's just no, it's all wrong. I need more. Bring me more.
This actually reminded me a lot of in Disco Elysium. There's a mechanic called the thought cabinet, where when you give answers in a certain way or behave in a certain way, eventually your brain will be like, hey, you're acting a lot like this. Do you want to make this part of your personality?
Oh.
And you can think about it for a bit. And there's one called actual art degree, where the flavor is basically like, do you have an art degree? You don't remember, but you might. And the mechanic is that it gives you a hit to your composure or your hand-eye coordination because your hands are shaking with how terrible everything is. But afterwards, you get this other bonus. I forget what it is mechanically, but it's really great flavor, right? Like you're just looking at everything going like, oh, this is garbage. I hate this. It makes you angry with how like low effort everything is.
Sweet. There was definitely, I mean, you can probably tell a few of them that I had some pretty silly flavor texts in here, but I had fun with some more normal ones. I mean, like the one we just saw in Tragic Lesson and this one, but particularly I think I also quite like Preordain, the reprint of Preordain. Single blue mana, scry 2, draw a card. In a multiverse of endless possibilities, Aminatu decided to experience all of them.
Oh, I didn't realize this was a reflection.
Yeah.
She's looking into a pool. Okay. Sorry, yeah, I only saw this very small on Scryfall. But yeah, I remember reading this and thinking, oh, hey, Aminatu.
Yeah. Hey,
How's it going?
what have you been up to? Conversely, I could see the preprint of Arrest where I wrote, getting caught was bad enough, but being rolled to the detention center was by far the worst part. These guys in just I think it's actually Lavinia has
like her.
put some dude in a bubble. And I just think that's really funny.
Yeah, well, I mean, you got to get it somewhere, right?
Yeah. Because I like this moment looks cool, but then you imagine moments later and Lavinia's just like, just hamster balling this dude back to the Azorius, I don't know, detention center, I guess.
This is Arrestor Lavinia before she was guild leader Lavinia.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, and there's no railings anywhere on Ravnica.
No.
So, like, this is...
No, we saw that with the Indrik, remember?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we bring up Affectionate Indrik, you can see a man just getting straight clocked over a bridge.
It's an ecumenopolis of personal responsibility.
What else did I really like? Mild-mannered librarian. I thought this was kind of a cool
Yeah.
card because, like, mechanically, this is a werewolf. She wants to be a werewolf. She turns into a werewolf, but it's not a flip card.
Yeah.
This has a lot more in common with monstrosity.
Yeah. So single green mana for a 1/1 human. The type line only reads human, but for 3 and a green, mild-mannered librarian becomes a werewolf. Put 2+1/+1 counters on it, and you draw a card, and you can only do that once. So
I
this
guess
is the
it's-
activate only once that we've seen pop up in what was it? In the Trenches just now.
Yes.
In Brothers War. Yeah.
But I also really enjoyed the flavor text on this.
Yes, she had always believed in the transformative power of great literature. I believe that one was. It wasn't me. That one I believe was Chris.
Okay.
Might have been. I don't know. It's tough. There was a lot for this one that we've managed to hit on a lot that I am able to say that was me. But there was a lot, I think, certainly more so than when we were doing Infinity, where there was a lot of combining of ideas
Oh, like
of sort of like a thing, a thing from here, a thing from here, or like this idea, but as a quote and now attributed to someone. Like the one I suggested one for Flicker of Fate, which was something about like she has 9 lives, but doesn't want to waste one or something.
yes,
And so
yeah.
this is the job of the editor. Fox would look at that and be like, I think this works better as a quote. So now it's quote. Sure, I've got 9 lives, but that doesn't mean I'm keen to waste one now, right? And so there's a lot of massaging of things that does that. Let me actually talk about. This seems like an appropriate time. Let me talk about my favorite story from this, because this was just such fun. So we've got Kibo, him who makes bananas.
Oh, yes.
I love that Kibo makes bananas. So let me tell you what Kibo, the card Kibo does first. So Kibo Uktabi Prince. So 2 and a green for a legendary creature, Monkey Noble. He's a 2/2. Tap. Each player creates a colorless artifact token named Banana. With tap and sacrifice this artifact, add red or green, you gain 2 life. So it gives you, it's like food and treasure.
Yes, but very like specific treasure.
Yeah. And not quite as good as food, because food is 3 life, so there's only 2 life, Whenever
Well, banana's not a full meal. It's a snack.
Exactly. Exactly. Whenever an artifact an opponent controls is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control that's an ape or monkey. So if your opponent eats their banana, your monkeys get stronger, get angrier. I don't know. Anyway, whenever Kibo attacks, defending player sacrifices an artifact. That's very strong. Ignore all the hilarious banana monkey synergy. This is a 2/2 for 3 that whenever it attacks, defending player sacks an artifact. That's also very good.
That's very strong.
So here's the story about Kibo. That name, if I recall correctly, came in from development as just like this is a name. I don't know. We'll call this guy Kibo, and we'll see what creative text comes up with. And we all just kind of liked. Everyone suggested other names. Like we threw in other ideas for names, but in the end, Kibo stuck. Chris had suggested. So you have to remember something about how this worked. We've talked about this a bit in the Infinity episode, but when you're doing the creative text, you get batches of cards, and you don't know what else is forthcoming in the set. You don't know what else is going on. So this is just Kibo monkey guy. Okay? Pretend Uktabi is not part of it. Put that out of your head. Okay? It's just a monkey guy. So Chris puts down Uktabi King or something. And I was like, actually, he looks pretty young. Maybe, what about Uktabi Prince or Uktabi Heir or something? And then I said, it'd be funny. Is there some way that we can get across from the name of this guy? Can we make a sly reference and pretend like this is the offspring of the 2 monkeys from the back of Uktabi Orangutan? So, James, can we see the original art of Uktabi Orangutan? So this was from a real set, by the way. This was not from an unset. I don't remember what era this was from, but yeah, Uktabi Orangutan, 2 and a green for 2/2 ETB, destroy an artifact, right? So there's some there's some similarity there.
Yeah.
But if you're looking at the art by good old Una Fricker, you can see in the back that there's 2 monkeys, plausibly just being friendly and grooming one another, but it kind of looks like they're doing it.
Yep.
It sort of inarguably looks like they're doing it.
This is a long-standing joke within Magic.
Yeah.
This is a horny card.
Yeah, I can't remember when this was originally printed, because again, this is a reprint from 6th edition. I can't remember. Anyway, the point is, there's Uktabi Orangutan. Later, in Unhinged, I think it was, they printed Uktabi Kong, which is 5 green for an 8/8. Trample, ETB, destroy all artifacts, and tap 2 untapped apes you control, make a 1/1 ape. And in the background of this one is 2 monkeys, one of whom is now pregnant. So they're leaning into the joke at that point, right? And also, I just realized mechanically, tap 2 apes, make a 1/1 ape. You can literally, this card literally lets you make ape babies. So I was like, is there some way that we can name this guy to make it clear, can we call him like Uktabi Offspring? Like, can we pretend that this guy, that this new legendary monkey is the result of is that specific baby. And Leah was like, oh, this is great actually, because we're reprinting Uktabi Orangutan in this set. I want to be clear, I didn't know that when I suggested this, when I was like, can we please make this a thing? And Chris didn't know that either when he suggested Uktabi whatever, right? So we didn't know that Uktabi Orangutan was going to be reprinted in the thing. And the art on Uktabi Orangutan was not finished.
Right.
But was the orangutan entertaining the kid that was probably going to be the offspring of those two monkeys. You see, here's the reprint of Uktabi Orangutan. You can see the two monkeys they're out of focus in the background. And then there's this monkey. And so the point was that he's going to be entertaining their kid. Mm-hmm. But because this art wasn't done, Leah was able to go to the art director and get the art director to talk to the artist and add the mohawk from Kibo's card, which was complete, add that to this monkey to then make it really clear to make it canon, basically, that was the case. And we saw that art change while we were working on it. And so then that's why the flavor text, which is I believe literally combining a submission of Chris's and a submission of mine into the hierarchy of the Uktabi jungle hinges mostly on who can keep Prince Kibo entertained. So I just love that it's like that they already had an idea to reprint Uktabi Orangutan with Now We See the Kid. You know, they already had the third beat of the joke planned, but it wasn't going to be this legendary monkey. And then on the creative team that we were able, because this art hadn't been completed yet, that we were able to be like, yo, can we make this canon? Can we make this legendary? Can we say that it's this monkey? And I think that that's just so fun.
Yeah.
So I'm really happy about that.
And then I also enjoyed Festering Evil. This is very not jokey, but I thought this was a fun card to see reprinted again, and I like the flavor text on it.
Yeah, I love that flavor text as well. That one was Chris, and I was like, ooh, that's a good one. Mm-hmm. Evil is never absent, only hidden. Yeah, I don't know what this is a reprint from, but yeah.
It's an older set. I forget which one it is, but it's only been printed once before.
Oh, yeah. 3 black enchantment at the beginning of your upkeep. It deals 1 damage to each creature and each player. And then for black and sack it, it deals 3 damage to each creature and each player. Yeah, it's a good one. I got to do I got the rare double on Rampaging Growth.
Oh.
Of the name and flavor text. 3 and a green for an instant. Search your library for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield, and shuffle. Until end of turn, that land becomes a 4/3 insect with reach and haste, and it's still a land. With the flavor text, when they had the house checked for bugs, they didn't think big enough. Instant. Wow, you could surprise block a flyer with your island. That's awesome.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
You have to recall that, like, viewers at home. And you'll know that you'll both recall this, that like remembering what the cards do mechanically is like not a thing from when we're doing the creative text.
Yeah, there's a process in which you're like, how can I
what does this card do?
Yeah, what does this card do? Does it reference cards in the past that I could reference in my name suggestion, right? Like, does it have a similar ability or something like that? Like, I don't know, does it let you play a second land in a turn? Then maybe you want to put the word explore into your name, right? To use that's not a real example. That's just like something I thought of, but you know what I mean, right?
That's how things like looting become semi-codified.
Yeah, exactly. However, there's lots of cards you're looking at. You're not going to remember everything. And realistically, that's what I'm looking at mechanically. I'm not like thinking about how the card plays or how you would play with it in a game. It's just like, is there some spot where I can jump off and use that to make a name that helps explain how the card works?
Yes.
And sometimes yes, great. Sometimes no, great. Doesn't matter. After that, all that knowledge is thrown out.
Yeah, it's like how I become an expert on gaming PCs every 4 or 5 years when I need to upgrade my home PC, and then immediately what is a megahertz? I don't know anymore.
Nope.
Like, I discard that information instantaneously.
Mm-hmm. I wanted to mention a couple other names and such that I'm quite pleased with. This one I found interesting. So, Conductor of Cacophony.
Oh yes,
is So I got to name that one. It's 3 and a black for a 2/1 demon. Conductor of Cacophony enters the battlefield with 2+1/+1 counters on it, and for a black and remove a counter from it, it deals 1 damage to each other creature and each player. And this is a tweaked for space version of my flavor text, which is only an imitation of tortured shrieking, or so the Rakdos claim. And I thought that was all great. The Reddit thread was like, "Yo, a female demon?"
Yeah, we've never seen a female demon before.
There's like, apparently, there's like one maybe.
Huh.
But apparently, from a lore perspective, that's a thing. But we also have Rodolph, who's a male angel.
Oh, right.
Who I did not name. So that's, apparently we're just like, we're breaking down existing magic barriers. Apparently,
There's no reason that all the angels have to be women and all the demons have to be men.
no, I don't think
Yeah,
so.
no, I
I
mean,
think
like-
it's just sort of traditional.
Yeah, Magic's angels have much more in common with Valkyries, I think.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember when it was like on Amonkhet,
Hmm.
all the angels were male, which was supposed to be like a tip-off that there's something wrong. Because they're all made by Bolus.
Right.
Right. Yes, I remember that. Yeah. So yeah, it's not like Rodolph is the first male angel, but apparently, big deal from Conductor of Cacophony. Ossuary rats. So I love this. There's a couple things I like about ossuary rats. 5 and a black for a 3/2 rat. So that's pretty expensive for a 3/2. But when they enter the battlefield, it deals X damage to target creature or planeswalker an opponent controls, where X is the number of creature cards in your graveyard.
No, you're not casting that early anyhow.
No, exactly. So that's powerful. You ventured too deep when the rats stop running and hold their ground. So I'm very proud of that flavor text.
Yeah.
I'm possibly more proud of the name because apart from one plane card from Plane Chase, Magic has never used the word ossuary before.
Really?
And it's so good.
Yeah.
And I saw the art and I was like, that's an ossuary. And I was like, yo, you've never used the word ossuary before? And the editor was like, wait, really? And we went and searched it up and like, no, I never used ossuary before.
Not even with the Orzhov?
No.
Huh.
Yeah.
I wonder if the Orzhov always defaulted to catacomb instead of ossuary.
Maybe. Huh. So yeah, there's one plane that I think is called like the Grand Ossuary or something from, I can't remember, but that was the only thing that turned up. So I was like, oh, neat.
Nicely done, Graham.
Thank you. It's nice to, it's such a cool word.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gosh, what else do we have? I like the name Termination Facilitator because it just makes it sound like a very callous business transaction.
Yeah.
That
Like
you're hiring this assassin.
sanitation engineer from Space Quest.
Exactly. Yeah. Also, this card's pretty sweet. 1 and a black for a 1/3 human assassin. Tap, put a bounty counter on target creature or planeswalker. Activate only as a sorcery. Whenever a creature or planeswalker an opponent controls with a bounty counter on it is dealt damage, destroy it. There you go. I just have to say, for Suspicious Shambler, which is a great name,
Oh, yes.
I was like, in the same way that I didn't think that they'd pick like Permission to Haunt a Board Captain, I did suggest, I was like, I have to put this name down. I suggested 2 zombies in a trench coat. And the editor, Fox, was like, I wish I could use this because it's really funny.
Had the art been finalized at that point?
Yeah. I also suggested Unsteady Dead, which just to me has sort of a good mouthfeel, but I do like Suspicious Shambler because it's just sort of like, oh, what's wrong? Why is that zombie dead? I love the idea that it's like, oh, a zombie. Oh, okay. Hey, wait a minute.
Giant zombie.
There's something weird about that zombie.
Improbably tall zombie.
I was like, zombie, fine.
Zombie
Tall zombie?
sneaking into Basic Instinct.
Yeah. I had some fun with pirates. The new card, Daring Piracy, 2 and a red for an enchantment. At the beginning of combat on your turn, make a 1/1 red pirate creature token with menace and haste. Exile it at the beginning of the next end step. So it's just sort of like new pirates. Flavor text. Sky pirates often leap randomly into the fray and assume there will be something to land on. Someone on the Reddit thread was like, wow, this makes the pirates sound really stupid. And I responded, you'd be surprised how often it works out for them. Because I just think that's neat. And then there's a reprint of, I think is it Brazen Buccaneer from Ixalan, I think. There's a reprint of, no, not Brazen Freebooter. Maybe it's not Brazen Buccaneer. Hang on. There's a reprint of one of them pirates. It's not on the list that I have. No, and I wouldn't look for Buccaneer. But it's shoot. Okay, look up Spear in the meantime while I find this out, because I quite like this one. Okay, yeah, Spear, single red mana for a 0/2 Goblin Warrior Defender. Tap, Spear deals 1 damage to each player. Okay, maybe the 962nd Spear will be the one that gets him from Creech, Ballista Operator, which I like that. You know, he's doing a good job. It's just like, why won't they die?
Combos with your termination facilitator.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Or wait, no, this is each player. It doesn't combo.
Yeah,
Termination facilitator
no,
only
yeah.
hits. Yeah,
Creatures.
I was with you.
Yeah, I was excited about that. Yeah.
Too powerful.
Just reminds me of the adage, early bird gets the worm, but the second mouse gets the cheese.
Oh, that is good. Dragons. God, there's so many. There's cycling decks. There's dragon decks. Gosh, there's a lot.
I'm honestly really looking forward to this set. The play dynamic was a lot of fun, as long as, occasionally you would get feel bads where you would play get a not great pairing and then decide to run it back and get the same pairing.
Yeah.
Because it's just the best of the bad options.
Mm-hmm. Oh, well.
Or the uninteresting options.
Yeah. I'm excited to play a lot of Jumpstart and to use up all my gold on Arena
Yeah.
to do so.
Yeah. I mean, there's some fun opens in this. Lots of merfolk. I thought the Ixalan merfolk packs looked quite interesting. This really feels like all the draft decks that you've wanted to pull together but weren't good enough for constructed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, and think about all the fun toys you'll get for Gladiator.
Yes. Yeah. Very exciting.
I certainly hope that we get the similar rigging runner. That's the card. I certainly hope that we get a Jumpstart 2022 queue on Arena as well. So yeah, rigging runner, single red mana for a 1/1 Goblin Pirate with first strike and raid. Rigging runner enters the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter on it. If you attack this turn, the flavor text: prepare to be boarded or don't. I'm coming over either way.
Yeah, prepare to be boarded. I mean, or don't prepare to be
Yeah,
boarded.
I don't care.
Please. Actually, I would
It
prefer.
it affects me it affects me not at all.
I love that flavor text.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, raid. There's 4 different varieties of the raid packet. That's the other thing, is that in these packets, there'll be some of them have variations, some of them don't.
Mm-hmm.
There's was 4 different ones called Fiery, 4 different ones called Treasure. There's a lot of different goblin ones. There's 2 for cycling, 2 for dragons. There we go. Okay, there's one called Speedy. There's one called Spicy. But then there's one, there's goblins.
There's one called Law.
Yeah. But then there's the goblins one is has some cards shared between them, but one goblins has Krenko, one has Ib Halfheart, one has Muxus, and one has a new one, Ardaz, Cobbler of War. Not named by me, but I love it.
Ardaz is a good name.
Yeah, and also just Cobbler of War because she's got
Big shoes.
fire shoes. Also, this card's ridiculous, by the way. Let me just read this. 1 in a red for a 1/1 haste. Whenever Ardaz, Cobbler of War, or another creature enters the battlefield under your control, that creature gets +2/+0 until end of turn.
Jeez.
So really, she's a 3/1 haste for 2. And then for 3 in a red, make a 1/1 red goblin with haste. You can only do that as a sorcery, but it comes in because it has haste. It's a 3/1. You just make a bunch of 3/1s.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, Napoleon, an army marches on its feet. Idiot.
You big
on its
dummy.
stomach? No wonder you lost. Why don't you get up?
I love goblins.
Yeah. Also, how many goblins can you make in a turn?
I mean, it depends how much mana you have, I suppose.
Yeah, right.
You could, if you got that thing, you could make copies of your goblin tokens.
Yeah, but a Krenko's command turns Ardaz into a 5/1. That's pretty trivial to do.
Mm-hmm.
Spicy.
Yeah. This feels like a good way of opening up a board on the turn that you play a Empty the Warrens.
Mm-hmm.
The other theme that I had a lot of fun with personally was Phyrexians. So there's a reprint of Spawning Pit, which I believe was not originally Phyrexian themed,
Wait.
if I recall correctly.
Sorry, I completely misread Ardos.
Oh, okay.
Ignore everything I just said.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. 2 mana artifact, sack a creature, put a charge counter on spawning pit, and then for 1 mana, remove 2 charge counters from spawning pit, make a 2/2 colorless spawn artifact creature token. Nothing is wasted on New Phyrexia. Because this one, so some of the cards were like, this is taking place on New Phyrexia. Some of the cards were like, this is somewhere. The artist can sort of have fun with it, you know. And so if it was themed to a specific plane, we tried to reflect that. So I liked that one. And then Phyrexian Reclamation is another reprint. Single black mana enchantment for 1 and a black, pay 2 life, return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. With the flavor text, your sacrifice has been noted and deemed insufficient.
That reminds
From
me of the
Paul
original
Shaw,
flavor.
Priest of Norn.
Reminds me a bit of the original flavor text on the original printing of Dismember, which I don't remember right now offhand.
Don't remember.
Don't remember.
I don't remember it. Oh yeah, you serve Phyrexia. Your pieces would better serve Phyrexia elsewhere, says Azax Azog, the Demon Thane.
Ooh.
That's a good name.
Have we seen
Azax
Azax
Azog-
Azog, the Demon Thane, on a card? Maybe
don't
we'll
think
see
so.
it in
Yeah.
like March of the Machines.
Ooh, that'd be good. And then the other one, I tweeted about this actually, is a reprint of Phyrexian Plague Lord, which is the first time it's being reprinted with new art. And so they're like, all right, because every other time, actually we can see one of the old ones first. Every other time that we've seen Phyrexian Plague Lord, it's been this great piece from Kev Walker, just this wild thing.
It looks like he's wearing a kilt.
It does kind of, doesn't it? Yeah, 3 black for a 4/4 carrier. Now a Phyrexian carrier. Tap and sacrifice Phyrexian Plague Lord. Target creature gets -4/-4 until end of turn, or sack a creature and target creature gets -1/-1 until end of turn.
Ugh, carrier spam.
This
Low
was-
skill.
This was part of the Rock and his Millions.
Yes. Yeah. Right. Right.
The deck where we
Does
get
that
the
go in
name.
Aristocrats?
It's a little slow. But I mean,
It's free.
yeah. I mean, like turn 5 is
Yeah.
a little late, but
Yeah.
or it's a little. I mean,
You don't have to pay for
appa-
sacrifice, right?
apparently, grafted war gear doesn't even go in aristocrats anymore. So I'm the wrong person to ask.
Wow.
We've got some inter-podcast beef now about War Gear. But so the flavor text on this one is the final stages of the illness: delirium, convulsions, and death. Phyrexian progress notes. And so I figured, all right, if this is the first time with new art, what if we reference that flavor text on the new one? So now it's even after death, a wealth of serviceable biomass remains. Phyrexian progress notes. And it's just like this is just the next bullet point in this dude's journal, right?
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
okay, we got delirium, convulsions, and death. After death, still pretty cool.
Yeah, it's still useful. Lots
Yeah.
of good stuff there. You don't want to let that go to waste.
Yeah.
Also, I really like how this art evokes. Now I've forgotten the artist's name.
The one
Eastern European.
the one that gets spoken in the same breath as Giger sometimes.
Yes. Yeah, I've forgotten his
I
name.
don't remember his name either,
But
but I know who you're thinking
yeah,
of. Is the one that everyone's like Giger and this guy.
yes, yeah, the chest plate and the shoulders
Yeah.
especially. But he does a lot of like, I survived a traumatic experience and now everything is made out of bones.
Yeah, I saw someone say, looks like someone rolled randomize on this guy's rib cage.
But I also really like how the mask evokes the Phyrexian, the invasion symbol.
Yeah, the
I guess that's
symbol of
Yawgmoth.
Yawgmoth. Yeah. I think that this art is also really sweet.
This is a real banger.
By it's hard to read with the Raf Kapipov. It's the resolution is a little bit low.
Yeah, like I was looking at when I saw this reprint, I was thinking like, does this go in aristocrats? I mean, I like this more than Plagued Rusalka, actually, because the activation's free.
I feel like the free activation
Is the big one.
Yeah.
Right? That's why you play Goblin Bombardment instead of something like Barrage of Expendables.
because you want to be using your mana for casting more things to throw away, not to throw them away.
Yes, yeah, exactly. I might sleeve this up and try it.
Barrage of Expendables is another really good card name.
It is.
I like that
It
one
is.
a lot. Oh yeah, right. They reprinted Tree of Perdition in one of the Unlucky 13 packet. With so it's 3 and a black for a 0/13 plant with Defender and tap to exchange target opponent's life total with Tree of Perdition's toughness. This is another one that Fox was like, this would work better as a quote, and attributed this to Marel Dawnheart Witch, which is trees are to be venerated and protected. Except that one.
We don't go near that one.
Yeah, which I like quite a lot. And then we have a new 13 card. We have the Disciple of Perdition. Which, as she says, could you please spare some of your blood for my precious little tree? Which was mine, though I did try to get a name in of like Triskaidekaphile or like something like that. You know, like a fan of, sort of like a fan of the number 13.
Yeah, Triskaidekaphile would have been good.
But yeah, this card, I think, but no, there is. Oh no, sorry, there is a Triskaidekaphile.
Yes, it's a flip card from.
Is it a flip card? It's the one where it's like you win if you have 13 cards in your hand or something. It's a blue card from Midnight Hunt
Yes.
So I didn't suggest that. I suggested something else, and I can't remember what it was. Or maybe I did suggest that, but this one was already. I can't remember. I don't know the timeline. I cannot remember the timeline.
Well, here's the thing.
If I was already working on this and didn't know that Triskaidekaphile was a card yet or something. Anyway.
So here's the thing. You can actually do that when you're... So James, could you pull up the card name Fade into Antiquity? It's from Kamigawa. So I suggested when I was working on Brothers War to name the card where it's like get rid of all artifacts, exile or destroy all artifacts. Everybody gets a 2/2 bear.
Oh yeah.
I suggested Fade into Antiquity for that because I hadn't seen this card yet.
Right.
Yep.
And they're both the same, and so I didn't know this card existed, but I think it's kind of funny, and it basically does the same thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow.
Exiles, artifacts, and enchantments. Yeah.
Yeah.
Moment of synergy.
Yeah. So it's very easy to be like, did I? And sometimes it's like, why isn't this awesome? I think this is a good name. Why isn't it being picked? Well, because it is a great name, and somebody else already came up with it.
Yeah. I do tend to have, when I was working on this, I tended to have one of my many tabs was Scryfall, so that I could be like,
has this name been taken?
Name?
Yeah.
Is this a thing? And there was at least one where I didn't check, and I was like, oh, this is a great magic card name, and the other guy was like, it's already been used.
Yeah, it's like, as it turns out, you're right.
Yeah, as it turns out, great name for a magic card.
Yeah.
So good, in fact,
Yeah.
that you can't use it.
That's I always check as well to make sure it's not too similar to an existing name.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's a heck of a thing. It's fun. That said, I'm very excited for Jumpstart. There's so many packets. My goodness, I'm actually just now seeing the full breadth of
if you
how
go
many
on
different options
Mythic
there are.
Spoiler, I think they have all of them laid out.
Yeah, broken down by packet, and it's looking forward to getting my hands on this, because honestly, the first one I thought was really fun, and I hope that this does well, and I hope that they do more.
Have they announced that this is going to be on Arena? I presume it is.
I haven't
hope
seen
so.
anything about it. I hope so, because I mean, the previous one was. I haven't noticed. I looked at the most recent game update thread, which was all just sort of about the rollout of Brothers War, so they didn't specify. But I'm certainly hoping that it will be. So, yeah.
Speaking of things that people enjoy that are coming up later,
Yes.
there's a thing that we do every set.
The nicknames episode?
Yes,
Oh, okay.
nicknames episode.
Sorry.
I thought you were going to pick up on what I was putting down.
I was like, you know what? I'm so brain addled right now that I was thinking, I was racking my brain for, are we doing a pre-release for Jumpstart? And I just forgot about it. So we're not.
No.
But we are doing a stream of it this coming Friday on the Friday Night Paper Fight. So, tune in for that. That's about as pre-release as you're going to get from this. But no, we also the nicknames episode for the Brothers War. We'll be doing that in the coming weeks. There's no specified timeline. It's the holidays. We will do it. But the website to check out for that is lrr.cc/nicknames. If it's not up when you see this, check back in a week. Maybe it is, maybe it won't be. We don't know exactly when we're going to be opening those submissions.
But prepare your nicknames.
Yes. I do believe, I will warn you now, at Paul's suggestion, so you can blame him. He doesn't have Twitter, so he's safe. That we're going to be implementing a character limit, not to stifle your creativity, just to stop people pasting in the entire text of the Raven.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny, but it's also, it just messes with the formatting on the website apart from anything else. And it's it's a lot of reading to be like, wait, have they rewritten it, or is this just the Raven? It's just the Raven. It's a good poem.
Yeah.
It's just how much? Wow, the Raven's longer than I remember. And the second place vote was
we just want to make sure that if you've done some sort of sophisticated rewriting job, that we're not missing out on it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't want to call anyone out specifically. All right, that is gonna do it for this episode of Tap Tap Concede. Thanks everybody for joining us. As a reminder, we're brought to you by Card Kingdom. Get yourself some Jumpstart. Go to cardkingdom.com/LRR. Tell them we sent you. Get a button. It's a blast. And of course, this show and everything we do is brought to you by you and your kind support of our Patreon at patreon.com/loadingreadyrun. Thank you all so much for listening. Until next time, I have been Graham, joined by Cameron. Kathleen. James is on tech. Heather gets these online. Thanks so much again. Talk to you next time.